to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George.
Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we continue our watch list maintenance with the positively devastating The Green Mile, based on the novel by Stephen King, written and directed by Frank Darabont. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we, for those who might be joining us for the first time, I mentioned that this is a month of watch list maintenance. We're crossing stuff off the watch list that we've never seen before, neither of us. And this has always been towards the top of that list and has always been put aside because all I knew about it was that it was going to make me sob. That's the only thing I knew about The Green Mile. It's about an inmate on death row, and it will make you cry a lot. And it did. That was my only frame of reference. And, you know, when it comes to movies that almost sound like, I don't want to call them emotional manipulation, but like, when it sounds like the goal of a movie is to make you sad, I tend to avoid it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I try to not engage with until I'm absolutely ready. But, you know, you'd mentioned this is one of your dad's favorite movies of all time. My brother recently watched this, and my brother is a stone cold fucking robot emotionally. And he came out of his room sobbing, to the point where me and my dad were like, "What's going on? Are you okay? What's happening? Or what is this?" And he's like, I just watched The Green Mile and I can't fucking stop. I can't fucking stop. Like, he's like trying to stop crying and he can't do it. It's so it was so funny once we found the context. But it was so reassuring for me. I was like, fucking outstanding. I love that this happened for you, buddy. You know, that more than anything is why I was super down to watch The Green Mile. That was just like last month or something. So I was like, I need to see what the fuss is about. This made my little brother cry and nothing does. So, let's see what that is. How'd you feel on your first viewing of Green Mile?
Yeah, I knew my dad liked it. And this is, my dad's typical, you know, run-of-the-mill movies are more war movies. 300, Braveheart, Troy, Gladiator.
Yeah.
And so this is not really in his wheelhouse, but this was on a lot. He would watch this a lot. And the one thing I do remember is that my mother, she avoids this at all costs. She can't do it. And because she'll cry at like a commercial, you know, or like the simplest things can get her going. And so like this, I understand now why, if you've seen it one time and she's the way she is, I think that's all she needs. Like she doesn't want to go through that again. I'm like 30 minutes fresh off. So I feel like I do sound a little stuffy here, because this was a tissue heavy movie. The blanket for a little bit, you know, got a couple tears on there, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta blow my nose. So I'm like, then I got some tissues. But yeah, this was a certified, oh my god. It does feel like the goal of the movie was to make you cry, and but good. I don't know. It did, I guess, suck, you know, during the time, but no, it did after.
No, yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I would just kind of be like, yeah, it made me cry. You know, like, yep, it made me sad. That's what I thought it was going to do. I think it's a really, really good looking movie. I think there's a lot of really gorgeous, gorgeous imagery that I didn't expect of it, mostly because my frame of reference for Darabont is Shawshank Redemption. And while I enjoy Shawshank Redemption, and maybe I need to revisit Shawshank Redemption, I remember it more as the emotionally manipulative, solid comedy, not comedy, buddy like buddy thing, not buddy comedy. It's certainly not funny. But like, you know, they got the duo that's trying their best to make it out. And I remember it like, and I think Shawshank probably even had more to say, you know, societally, kind of.
Yes.
You know, this one's very obviously anti-death penalty, but that's a pretty easy thing to be anti. And I think that it doesn't have to do much to be anti-death penalty. It's just got to be like, hey, isn't this fucking archaic and brutal?
Yeah.
And that's all they have to do. Whereas Shawshank was kind of, you know, it was analyzing the merits of the prison system a little bit. And I still don't think it went quite far enough. But I would say that this one is a much more, if you're looking for something to take out of this movie in a way that's like, this is what this says about society, you're going to find a lot less of that here than you are, I think, in Shawshank Redemption. Even though I think towards the end it does ramp up a little bit. With Michael Clarke Duncan's character giving the monologue, John Coffey giving the monologue about how he feels the hate. He feels all of it every day. It's like glass in his brain and all that. Like it's a great moment. And I love Michael Clarke Duncan, in this role. It's genuinely really, really an all-time supporting performance for me. It was fucking beautiful.
Is he truly that big, or are they doing some things?
They
to,
are.
like,
I mean, he's a giant guy. He's a
Yeah.
giant guy, but they are absolutely doing stuff to make him bigger.
So I was gonna say, I'm like, I know he's big, but I'm like, holy fuck,
He's
like,
not
I mean,
as
he
tall. He's not as
Yeah.
tall as they're making him.
Okay,
They're
but
like whenever they're carrying him in on their on his shoulders, like on the shoulders of Tom
Yeah.
Hanks and Brute. That's about how tall that guy actually is.
yeah,
Which is still very tall. He's a very
yeah.
large man. But yeah, they're making him look like Wemby. Like if he was a
Yes.
giant, like an actually big version of Victor Wembanyama. And yeah, he's medicine. This is probably what booked him Kingpin a couple years later in that Daredevil movie.
yeah. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's a interesting lineage there. But yeah, no, the
Also, the crew chief in Talladega Nights. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
oh
Don't
my
you
God,
put that
that's
on
right.
us. Yeah, that's Michael Clarke Duncan. Quite the trajectory career-wise.
Wow.
Oscar nominated for The Green Mile.
Yeah.
And then went on to do basically whatever the fuck he wanted, which is incredible.
Huh. Yeah, because I mean, comparing it to Shawshank, I mean, that's number one on IMDb user ratings all time. You
Right.
know, so I guess is like crazy. This dude's
That's the
got
difference
2 in
between
the
a
top
happy ending and a
25.
sad ending. Yeah.
Yeah, and but like, man, maybe it's just been a while since I've watched Shawshank, but this is like, I love Shawshank, and yeah, I think it does say a lot more societally, and it has a lot more to say of the prison system. But this, like, as a movie goes, I think like this is what more movies are for. It feels
I
like,
agree.
and we even had that nice sit down where he's like, I've never seen a flicker before. Like that was his last wish, and he gets to sit down and watch it. And then it's like, oh my God, yeah. So
and it's the
like,
movie that played at the beginning that made older version of him
yes,
cry and like freak out and leave the room. Oh my God.
So it's like, I think Shawshank has a lot more to say of like the literal world and the world we live in right now.
Right.
But The Green Mile is like just much grand, you know, it's life and death in general.
Well, and
I
it's
think,
got a fantasy flair, dude, which is not something I anticipated at all. I had
it comes with the
idea.
funniest way of showing it, like for the first time.
Yeah, they're
and
like,
it's
grab his dick and twist it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
He was like,
But
go
yeah.
ahead, grab his crotch and fix his bladder infection.
Yep.
And just the way that every time that plays out, and the more it builds up to being like, you know, the mouse, and then, you know, you slowly realize like, oh shit, there does come a point in this movie where, aside from the march to death for John Coffey, which you know is inevitable, he's on death row, you know he's not going to get out of this. Again, it's the 30s or 40s, and he's a black guy who's accused of murdering and raping 2 little white girls. This guy's not getting out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel for John Coffey, unfortunately. So there comes a point in the movie where before we get into the, like, we need to save the warden's wife, you know, where I'm kind of going, what's the point other than the fact that we're going towards death for him, you know? And even so, I wasn't dissatisfied with it, you know? I was just kind of like, this is an interesting kind of, I don't know, just kind of a character piece. It doesn't feel like they're doing a lot to, you know, create a story arc. It feels like it's mostly just character work. Here's, you know, there are real people who exist in real situations like this where they are the supervisors of the last mile, you know, like that's it's a brutal job, to have had. And, you know, you have to imagine that there were absolutely Percys, who had jobs like that, but you have to imagine that there were definitely, Edgecombs,
Yeah, and it's like you're right. Like at the beginning, I'm like, okay, so like I'm not mad at what I'm seeing. You know, I'm still getting emotional. We're getting kind of one by one, like the the first kind of
countdown.
Yeah, I guess we get the rehearsals, you know, with Harry Dean Stanton and like
fuck yes,
you know,
dude.
So
and that's another thing. I know that we've been comparing it to Shawshank a lot, so I'm going to outright say it. I enjoy this more than Shawshank. Which is a weird thing to say because Shawshank has a happy ending and this absolutely doesn't. Like, I like this more than Shawshank, and part of it is that the cast is fucking incredible. Like,
stacked.
It's unbelievable. And like Harry Dean Stanton makes the appearance, you know, like this is a sad real world thing. The first guy to be put to death in this movie is Graham Greene. Incredible Native American actor who just passed away last year. I shouldn't say passed away. He was murdered last year in a hate crime, which is fucking devastating.
That's so much worse.
No, it's awful. It's awful. So and he delivers this monologue with, you know, Paul about, you know, do you really believe this and this and like, like, it was fucking me up the whole time just because of that real world layer where I'm like, Graham Greene actually did just die. And that's, it's fucking brutal. But,
I didn't even know that. And it was already brutal. Yeah. So, dang. But yeah, it's like him. We have a mouse, you know, with like a
Mr.
Jingles. Great, you know. Yeah. And like, and just like, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? I was like, they're really putting a lot of importance on this mouse. I'm like, is it just passing the time? Like, or what's going on with this mouse, you know? And then it's, you know, I guess it actually a pivotal story piece eventually, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, I think this like, as far as this and Shawshank, it is crazy that like I guess it does have the happy ending. It's more of like a twist movie, you know. But when you see it for the first time, you don't know the holes behind the poster and you know or whatever. And it's cool in that movie sense. But I think this is like much more of a timeless movie. Like this is a I don't know. Like this is an all-timer for me, where Shawshank was when I first watched it, but I don't think I quite had the movie experience under my belt that I did whenever I first watched Shawshank. And yeah, now that I've seen them both, I think I'll give Shawshank its fair shake. I'll watch it again. I think I will still very much enjoy it. It's still a phenomenal movie, but
very different kind of like, and that's what's fascinating is that they are similar movies. They're made by the same guy, and they are both set in prison, and you know, like they do have the same idea kind of, but they do end up being very different movies, which I didn't anticipate. That's why I thought I would just kind of be like, okay, with the Green Miles, that I thought it was basically just going to be Shawshank again, and not exactly the same, of course, but you know, I'm like, it's the same guy, and he's making the prison movie. Let's see what else you can do a little bit. And I liked this a lot. Yeah.
He did share some cast. It looks like William Sadler. He's in kind of one of their main kind of buddies, I think, in Shawshank. But he's the dad of the two daughters here. And then Jeffrey DeMunn. I can't remember what he was in Shawshank. But he was just the one of the cops that was like, let's not talk about that. We're actually going to be doing this, guys, you know, or like he was the one kind of hesitant to the plan initially. So yeah, it's like, it's funny that they do. It is like same director, same prison movie, same even cast for the
but
most
very,
part.
very different.
Oh, dude.
Very different.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Jeffrey DeMunn, who plays Harry in this movie, this is just an interesting fact that I'm curious what direction it happened. You know, Harry Dean Stanton is in the movie, and he plays Toot Toot. Jeffrey DeMunn's character's name is Harry, and Barry Pepper, who is the other kind of good guard who like cries at the execution at the end of the movie and stuff.
Harry,
his character's name is Dean Stanton.
Oh, whoa. Okay, so that's so on purpose. There's no way, right?
Well, that's what I don't know if Stephen King's character in the book was like if he had a Harry and a Dean Stanton.
Oh man!
And if he did, was it inspired by the actor Harry Dean Stanton, who happens to end up getting cast in the movie as Toot Toot anyway?
That is great. Yeah, I wonder. The character Dean Stanton was named that in Stephen King's book. Okay, wow. So that's
almost certainly an inspiration by Harry Dean Stanton, though. You know, I mean, like he was a really good actor for a really long time, and I don't know. I just that's such a specific name.
Oh damn. Wow, maybe it's just like, okay, well, maybe he's too young for this role, or this role is too young for current Harry Dean Stanton. So we'll still put Harry Dean Stanton in the movie as Toot Toot, you know, just have your fun. But we'll have the, you know, whoever, I guess, young gun. I guess I don't know why that guard would need to be young, you know, specifically. But, well, I guess, yeah, Stephen King wrote him that way.
And I mean, like, there's a certain resonance because he's got a little bit more... He's a little bit more the baby face. You know, they actually bring up in the movie whenever he's got two young daughters, he's the one who needs plausible deniability.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like it tracks, it makes sense. But no, wow. I and that's why ultimately the movie was really working for me, even before I thought there was like a clear cut plot besides the march to death. I really, really like the character work. I like everybody in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I hate Percy. And I don't like Wild Bill, who's Sam Rockwell. He's a pretty young fucking Sam Rockwell. Holy shit. I didn't know he had it like that in the late 90s. This is Justin Hammer, from Iron Man 2 playing Wild Bill.
Shit. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah,
he's also been in a ton of other stuff, but yeah, this is definitely the earliest I've seen him.
Okay. Yeah, but like, you're right. Like the whole cast, like every character, like even like Brutus, like the good core of like the cops, you know, that were kind of there, the ones who were in it with John, and then I mean it was just kind of Percy that just sucked.
Oh my god! And I wanted to fucking wring his neck the whole goddamn movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What would, I don't know. I feel like I know him from something else.
I thought I did too, and then I looked, and I really don't know what it would have been.
Oh wow, not.
I don't know if he just reminds me of somebody else, or I have no idea. He looks familiar, and he's got that kind of sleek, hateable fucking glimmer in his eye.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Oh God, he played that. I mean, he played that role perfectly. If you're not like that in real life, dude, I mean, yeah. I mean, I sure.
Hats off to you.
I don't think you are.
Hats off to you. But he plays Scum perfect. Like it was uncanny. And God, I hated him. I hated him.
I guess we got the Nepo baby, you know, in there. I guess so. There's some like it's got something to say, you know. There were. You know, I guess at the beginning of the movie, you see a bunch of, you know, just slave labor going on. Like they're just working the land, you know, or whatever.
No, and that's I don't want to ever make it out like this movie has nothing to say. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think that it has. It's just the story that it's telling ends up taking a much more personal route than I think a general like. You know, I mean, like, at its core, it is about a falsely accused black man who is being put to death for a crime he didn't commit. You know, so, like, that in and of itself says something, but I don't think it concerns itself with saying much about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the distinction. Another really, really outstanding thing with the reveal in this movie that Wild Bill was the one who raped and killed the man's daughters. and again, making the point about the black man being accused of the crime that he didn't commit, is that Wild Bill never shows up for that family again, and disappears the night that the daughters are raped and murdered, and they never once think maybe that guy did that.
Well, I mean,
and again,
like
the guy's found
fair,
with the girls in his arms.
Like
they
are
it
right.
is what it is.
Like,
but I mean, like it is outstanding that never once did the guy go, I wonder what happened to Bill. You know, like
we did invite that man into our house for dinner, and he looked, man, what a creepy smile that guy had. But yeah, no, okay, we'll let Bill go. I mean, hey,
he's whack.
That was like actually that kind of the twist of the movie, or like I was just kind of crying and everything. I was just experiencing it as it was going. But kind of the first genuine shock that I had was whenever when John gave the kind of the sickness or gave the tumor to Percy. That didn't really surprise me. Like I'm like, oh, okay, hell yeah. I was like, let's fucking go. But then whenever after he kills Wild Bill, and then it leaves him after that, or then like it, I don't know, it still seems that he is sick or that he might still have the tumor, but like it took the kill to have it leave him. And I'm like, oh, kind of like they're establishing kind of, some not like how I don't think it functions. It's not so cut and dry of how this magic or how this whatever is working. But I think like they are trying to say that like maybe that even though they're both bad men, that this like at least have a bad guy kill the even worse guy. And like I don't know. I wonder why like it was so explicitly.
I read it like a super serum thing. Like in Captain America, whenever they're like, it brings out what's inside you, the reason you are good with the reason you are the best person for this is because you don't desire the power, like that's kind of the, like you won't abuse it. And I think that like this burrows in him, it infects him, and he kills somebody, and he's like, that's like what he wants to do. He wants to kill people, he wants to be there for executions. He wants to look them in the eye. The Dell scene is the hardest scene to watch I've in a really long time. Like that is a brutal scene. And, from the moment they're showing him how to do it, and like the whole like you have to wet the sponge and stuff, you go, okay, well he's going to do this, and he's not going to wet the sponge at some point. That's going to be a fucking nightmare. And then they're marching Dell, and you're like,
what would happen. I didn't know it would be that bad. Like, is it truly that bad in real life too? Like, the
electric chair is truly fucking brutal. Like, the fact
insane. Like, how is that actually an option ever? Like, fucking. Holy, like, a guillotine is actually better. Like, the French, like, I don't know, or like, I mean, dang. Like, I would much rather have a bullet to the head, a guillotine. Like, I mean, that is just, it's actually brutal. Like, I mean.
Even the ones that didn't go as bad as Dell's were awful.
Yeah.
Like,
The first guy, he like they thought he was dead, and then they checked, and no, his heart's still beating. Turn it back on, and it's like, oh my god, like like no way, like that is, and they with the way they explain is, oh no, yeah, the sponge just lets it go super fast, straight to the brain like a bullet. So I guess I truly never knew how long it took for someone to go on an electric chair. And I don't think they're playing it up for just, the movie's sake.
No, I think that's definitely... I think part of the point of exhibiting this is to show how fucking archaic and brutal that process was. Because the death penalty does still exist in some states. But I think we're at the point where it's lethal injection now. Yeah. Not... I mean, it's definitely not the chair.
Yeah, I think.
But
when was that actually outlawed? I wonder.
I don't know that it was ever outlawed. It's just something that's evolved.
It just came out of fashion. No, that's even worse. It should have been out. Like
maybe it was. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it's just like it was kind of like there's got to be a more efficient way to do this, and it was almost certainly not out of any sort of desire to be thoughtful of the process of someone dying. It was probably just because this sucks up a lot of energy. We should probably do something about that.
God damn. But yeah, it wasn't banned federally. Some states did, but it was just after Lethal Injection came out, it was just favored. It like, so nothing in law, that said, which is kind of crazy.
New execution process just dropped. But it's
I think that is largely like a fascination with watching people die, or like the difference between the good version of the people who work here who see it as like, no, we need to, keep them calm so they don't snap, because people under this pressure, any little thing can make them snap. So it's like they have to remain calm and like even put on a show a little bit sometimes, to keep them in an illusion, even if that is, it might mean lying or doing whatever, but then having the Percy, the other side of the coin, the people who don't truly know what this is like, who think, oh yeah, I want to watch, the scum die, I want to watch the real bad people go, and then, they see it. And I think not even when it went wrong, I think even before Percy even kind of was like, oh damn, like the first death that he saw, I think it was even kind of like, like he had more of a negative reaction. It wasn't like all positive, but then after he fucks it up,
God, I'm so glad he was human enough to recognize how fucking awful that was. Like, I was really, really glad that he suffered through that. You know what I'm saying?
I
didn't want him to take joy in that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad he watched that and went, oh, this is awful and it's my fault. Like, that's what you deserve. Good. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that just happened to you.
And I love that he thinks that him getting put into solitary confinement is just like his punishment, which it is, but then it's also to be like, there's no way you can ever be in on this mission. Like, you would talk 100%, like, just fuck you. It's so easy just to put you in the room, and he deserves it.
It's a very large man ripping your ears off there. Yeah, I love it. And that's the thing, is that I love the core group. I love Brute. I love Paul, Harry, and Dean. Great core group there, and their like chemistry and their kinship. You can like actually feel it. They feel very well established as a group of friends, and not just coworkers. And I really enjoy that. But I wanted to go back to something that we were talking about a second ago, because it reminded me of a movie I watched recently, also a 90s movie called Primal Fear. Which has Richard Gere, Ed Norton, a real young Ed Norton, and Laura Linney. And it's about a defense attorney who used to be a prosecutor, who's now kind of like a publicity hungry. He's always looking for a way to prop up his business and so on and so forth. But someone asks him why he made the switch from, prosecutor to defense attorney. Because that's a pretty massive switch. And, he's like, you'd probably think it's the money. You think it's the money, don't you? And they're like, yeah, we think it's the money. He's like, it's not the money. You probably think it's this, right? And they're like, yeah, no, it's not that either. And then he gets into this real philosophical thing where he's like, I believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Like that is the basis of our justice system. I believe everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And something that was really important, I didn't realize until I took this job, until I started doing it, was that everyone thinks things are so black and white. Everyone who commits these crimes are evil people, and everyone who's the victim is good. And what I needed and what I now know is that there are good people who do really bad things, and one of the things that I love about this movie is that the respect. Sorry, my shit keeps going, a little ding going off over there. The respect that Paul shows all the inmates is something they all want and need, and in turn respect him back, except for Bill, but like Del, when he's on his last march, he goes, I really wish I would have met you boys under different circumstances.
Yeah.
Like he really does. Those are his fucking guys. And not just because like, it's probably a little Stockholm stuff, but it's still like they were really, really nice to him. and he in kind was really, really nice to them. And, you know, I'm sure professionally Paul would never call Del a friend, but Del absolutely would have called Paul a friend. And like, that's really, really, I don't know, just, it's kind of something you need at that point. And, obviously Coffey didn't do anything. It was an actually good guy, but I like that they make the distinction that the first two guys who we see get executed actually did it. You know, like they did what they did, and they are incredibly remorseful, and they are on the other side, like they feel like they're on the other side of it. And that's the kind of stuff that reminded me of that monologue from Primal Fear, which is like, good people are capable of doing bad things.
Yeah. And kind of like who was the psychologist or the whoever was treating John or talked to John? That guy looked familiar. Whoever was at the house and the kid got bit in the eye by the dog, and they had
that was his defense attorney.
So okay, never mind. I just read that wrong. Okay, so no. Okay. I thought that was I thought he was like okay, that makes actually much more sense. Because like why I was like John had like a time where he was like being helped, or like I read it as like its therapist or like a more of like a
that was his defense attorney. That's exactly in the vein of what I was just talking about with Primal Fear. Okay. The guy was like, I believe that everybody has the right to a good defense. Like that's that is the basis. He was also that guy. I know him from Of Mice and Men. He was also Lieutenant Dan, by the way, the defense attorney in Forrest Gump.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. It feels like something more recent.
Did you ever watch 13 Reasons Why?
Yes.
He's in that. I don't remember what, but apparently he was in that.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary Sinise. He's a pretty well established. I mean, clearly he was in Forrest Gump. He's been around a while.
Okay. But yeah, no, that I liked that. Like, you know, a dog that seemed to love and, you know, was innocent its whole life, and then at one random day it bit the kid's eye off, and then he took the dog out and blew its brains out, and it's like man, I don't like there is this weird, like, it isn't black and white. You would love to think that like, oh, everyone who commits such a heinous crime, it'd be kind of nice if they were a bad person their whole life, you know. Then it'd be like easy to be like, yeah, no, whatever punishment's coming their way is you know, fully right and fully given. Yeah. But like if it is someone like, say, John, even, well, I don't know, raping two girls, like, yeah, it's kind of an unforgivable act no matter who you are. But like say like it wasn't like, I don't know, like an accidental, like he actually did something bad, but he was healing people and doing all this stuff before, you know, his whole life. It's like, yeah, no, there is some like that is different, and like, yeah, to make that switch from prosecuting to defense, I think, I don't know, like that, I maybe it's not like you're trying to you know, wiggle them out of it, you know. It's not like you're trying to like bend the law and to like not have justice served, but it's more of like fair justice. It's just making sure that the justice,
the justice system works the way it's supposed to, you know, because there are, you know, there's notoriously like court assigned defense attorneys who have several cases a day and stuff, and they don't know shit about you. They're just like, yeah, I don't think so. All right, I'll take a plea deal. You'll go to jail for a little bit and bye. You know, like that's a real thing. So yeah, I when it comes to the death penalty, particularly, I'm very staunchly no on that. Not to say that there are acts that are not. Every once in a while you read a story and you go, oh yeah, somebody should put this fucking guy down. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's either you are okay with it for everybody or you're okay with it for nobody, you know, because once you give the state the right to carry out punishment in a way that is ending life, what stops them from doing that to people who aren't actually guilty? You know what I'm saying? Like that's we're human and we make mistakes, and there have been a laundry list of people who have been executed by the state who have later been proven innocent. or not guilty. That's stuff that actually happens.
And that sucks. Yeah, that's just like a man. Imagine being the judge that ruled that sentence, and then it's like, oh, like shit, and like my like belief or what I feel kind of deep down is like I feel like the court of public opinion or like the human kind of like what you feel deep down. You kind of just have that feeling in your bones, whether if you're not, there's nothing to legally write this down or to have actually courts function this way, because obviously you could have the all those people who showed up and saw John, they obviously deep down in their bones, they think, they feel that John deserves everything coming for him, and they would say that it is their true emotions, but like they just don't know everything or the whole situation. But like, that's why I love how John's like power is, like, here, touch my hand, I'll show you. Like I feel, or like I felt it in his heart that he was a bad man. Your heart doesn't lie, and it's I thought it was just I don't think they didn't go too biblical with it. Like it was, they framed it that way, or one of God's.
Well, it's filtered. It's filtered
whatever,
through the lead's beliefs, which is But they're never like, this is actually a power that God imbued in John. Yeah, no, like it's.
And John even kind of turned down the preacher. Like hey, do you want a preacher to say words over? And he's like, no preacher. But you can say something if you want. And so I think that was like It was, they balanced that really well of kind of not, they could have made it, I feel like, very, very Christian heavy or going down that route, but it was just very, just magic. It was just beautiful. I don't know. Like, I think it was just like, it was a miracle. Like, and like to see, like, yeah, like you witness something like that, even if it is like the mouse just coming back to life, you just saw an orb of light in the bro's, in his hands, and then a mouse comes back to, like, after that, I'm like, well, shit,
yeah,
I'm a believer.
After shit like that, after shit like that, I'm gonna go, yep, there's a God, and you are an angel for sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
And I didn't know like the true ending of the movie, and I kind of was holding out on the hope that like he would beat the electric chair somehow. That like. He's, he kind of, every time he brought back their life back, it seemed to kind of alter with the electricity. And I didn't know if he actually made it out or not. And so, like, I was still holding on hope that he somehow would, like, make it out of this. And then, like, then he actually was just dead. And then I was like, fuck. I knew it was coming, but it was just kind of like, maybe there's maybe he can absorb it. Maybe it makes him more power, I don't know. And I'm like, is there another twist coming? And then it was like, no, it's just dead. Yeah, it's just dead. It is his time.
Brutal. But. And I do like the further twist ending that the imbuing of his power into things makes them live longer. Which is interesting. Like Mr. Jingles
infected
being alive,
them with life. Yeah.
Paul being 108 come the end of this movie and still very, very good, very well active and everything. Very, very interesting twist, I thought, as far as the power imbued. But I'm sorry, I'm watching the movie in the background again, as I am wont to do now these days when we record, and they're at the rehearsal scene with Toot Toot. And something that I wanted to go back to with regards to, Del feeling like they're his friends and, like there's a respect given and respect taken. When Percy is looking at somebody die, it's because he wants to see them die. You know what I'm saying? Whenever Paul and Brute are watching and observing, witnessing, it's almost a means to make these people feel like they're not dying alone, which is interesting. There's a crowd of people who are excited to watch you die, but we're not excited to watch you die. You know what I'm saying? Like we're here because this is our job and because we need you to know that you are not dying. I don't know.
They tell John that, they say like, no, like John's like, these people, it feels like bees stinging me or something like that. And then Brute was just like, No,
when
feel
Bruce
us.
like, do you feel us?
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't hate you. Did he say we love you? I don't think
I'm
he said
pretty
we
sure
love
he's-
you.
I'm pretty sure he says something about love, though.
Yeah, I think like we don't hate you. Oh man, he might have said we love you. I don't know. Like and yeah, and I thought the little handshake that Paul gives him, I thought that was gonna like end his career, or or like that was gonna like the people were gonna be like, why are you shaking the hand of a rapist murderer, and stuff. But like I'm actually kind of glad that wasn't touched, and it was just he left. It was the last execution he ever took place in, and he is now in an old folks home, which is the other version of death row in a weird way to think about it, but the peaceful version, I guess. But that with staff that is like, we're not supposed to let you wander off, we're like, to keep them there, to keep them happy before they pass, so it's like, and he has to still see those people, or like, and sit with them. And I did like, he sees it as his punishment, or like, this is my atonement, for killing John. But I think like he's been given more of a gift, like he's living to 108. And I guess, I don't know, when your bones get that creaky, maybe it is, he's like, yeah, I've already wished for it. He's like, yeah, it would be kind of nice, to drift away. But
well, he spent his career up until he was, 40 something watching people die, and now he's had to watch everybody else die. And I think that's enough to kind of go, yeah, when's this going to wrap up, man?
I guess
it's enough.
Yeah, true. But good people dying. Like, this is the way, well, I mean, I don't know about sending someone off to a home, and it feels kind of like avoiding the problem to me of like sending someone off just to make them like more. I would much prefer like surrounded by my family instead of some just kind of strangers that are all on their way to death as well. But this is a much more what you would like to happen at the end of your life. It is like a nice, the land they were on was beautiful, taking a walk and stuff like that. But I think like it is death, like now, like weird that I'm only 25. I hope it's still well off, but it's like it isn't. It's a very sweet thing that it will eventually come, and like it makes everything that you're experiencing now
makes everything precious.
And like the stakes are there. Like you always have the the stakes are high. But yeah.
Well, and like again, we're quarter of a century into this thing. That's an easy perspective to have when we're that early on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There probably does come a point in your life whenever, like, I had a conversation. Like, I've had a conversation with my grandpa. My grandpa, God bless him, he's been through a lot, physically, like, he broken hips and, heart attacks and all that stuff. So, he's gone through a lot, and something that he says is, there was a time, and it was basically fresh off of those like hip surgeries where he was like, I'd be fine going, like, and that was, 15, 20 years ago, I'd be fine going. And now he's like, I just want another year. Just give me another year. Like every year, he's like, I just want another year. Just give me another year. And like that's that's kind of beautiful. There comes a point whenever you are surrounded by family. You do have people who love you that are in your circle and are around, and then you go, oh, I hope I never have to leave these people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's beautiful. And that's why I'm like, again, early on here, it's like, yeah, I'm 26.
Yeah,
life is precious because it ends, and you can always hold that perspective. There's no way around it. And again, I'm not welcoming death. I'm not like, I could die tomorrow and I'd be fine. No, that would suck. I'd hate that. But it is easier to be more accepting of the fact that death is inevitable when it isn't imminent,
Yes. Yeah. Cause that, like, I have had times in my life where I did actually think like, okay, this might be my last night. Like I was, I didn't know. And like having a taste of it I got the fear put in me, of like how sweet life can be. and it was I had a conversation with one of my buddies, like school friends, the other day, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I think really what I've learned from you is that like I really wish a bunch of other people our age went through a near-death experience. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. He's like, I'm like, no, like that's
No, you don't mean that. Yeah.
He's like, but he meant it in the way of like, I think everyone at this,
your
at this
perspective.
school, everyone here is just everything's so negative. This place is so, and it's suffering and everyone hates it here. And I'm just the polar opposite. I don't know. Like everything for me is very sweet now. I have a very different perspective on life. And I think like, it just is like a shock for people here to enjoy this place or to love it. And that was where he was like, yeah, no, I think if people kind of, had that experience, they might think, actually enjoy this place too. And I'm like, well, I would much rather people, not have to go through that. But if, because he even said like, I wish I could have it myself. And I'm like, well, dude, it was just kind of a perspective change. It did take an event, but it was something that I just kind of did. It took some time to truly heal and to have it solidify, but like there's nothing stopping you, and like so. But yeah, so I think like this like I think this movie has so much more to say than like Shawshank. Shawshank is just a literal, like it says more of the literal world we live in, and I don't want to knock it for that, but this is, I don't know, much more
much
resonant.
grander.
I'm gonna hold this over. Like this is, I don't know. We've been just adding so many very, very high ranking all time movies very recently, and I don't know where this necessarily like shakes out. Like I think even Children of Men was like, it made me cry that much, or it was as resonant. But I think like that movie, it kind of has both. It kind of like is saying so much about the world and also makes me cry just as much too. And it was like just a roller coaster. But it's like kind of just without that act, a lot slower. You sit with everything. And yeah, like it did like look good. Like I even like there's when they're sneaking John out and there's like fireflies.
Oh, gorgeous.
I yearn for fireflies, man. Like I just remember in my childhood seeing them everywhere, and then they're nowhere. I don't know, or maybe they've just gotten smart and they're just avoiding all humans, and just they're out in the woods somewhere. I don't know. Or I hope they haven't died off, or like we've killed them off. I hope not. But yeah, like it was. I think it's, we're in the same place for most of the time, so there's not much to really like do cinematically. Like I like, even if you get like a, oh my gosh, who's the cinematographer for Dune?
Greg Fraser.
Fraser, thank you. Yeah, like if Greg Fraser was given this movie, I don't really like, what do you really do to make it like look grander or better? Like I don't think
well, that's the thing, is that when it comes to a movie like this, grander isn't strictly better. Like there's a lot of really soft lighting that paints the picture in a way that does remind me of a painting at points. One of my favorite shots is during John's execution, whenever the lights spark behind Tom Hanks and they rain down in front of him and behind him. There's a shot of Mr. Jingles that I absolutely love. That's one of his first shots where the entire screen is the Green Mile. It's just the green floor, and he's in the corner of the screen. And I don't know why, I just fucking loved that shot. There's a few times whenever I feel like there's some really, really just incredible imagery that whenever they show him standing up in his cell, John, and he's like, softly lit from behind, and you can't see the top of his head because it's shadowed, and like that's good looking stuff. Yeah, it's like simply good. Like it you don't notice it's kind of there, but I'm just I don't know why I'm like comparing to Dune or like a grand movie. Like it's so opposite. Like it's just such different things they're going for. But like it was.
I don't want to come off like saying that it wasn't beautiful, because it was.
No, it's a good.
It was very
movie.
pretty, but I think I was just so much more focused on just the story that's going on. And like every character, like each person in the movie had a very crucial role, or like I cared for everyone, and like it was very interesting to see their development over time. Like the invite, or whenever Paul was over. Paul and his wife went over the warden's house for to see see his wife and kind of have a little dinner or whatever, and then they kind of go back and they're still awake, and his wife rolls over and is like, hey, if you don't tell me what's on your mind, I'm gonna have to suffocate you, and he was just like, I don't know what I would do without you, like, oh my gosh, like that like it seeing someone's wife right there, and how fast life can come at you, and then he's like, yeah, I want to have the boys over tomorrow. And at first it didn't click that it was like to plan John's breakout and to heal.
Right.
I thought it was just like, I just want to get the boys together so that they can see us in a good state together, see, just witness that we are healthy and loving, and like we're fine. And like, so I thought it was just that at first. And that even got me to cry. I like, right whenever they're just sitting down, I was like, oh man, this is like so sweet. He just wants, to kind of like show off his wife
experience
in a little bit,
life.
or like, or just like,
yeah,
just kind of like, just you walk through. And then whenever he's like, okay, I'm getting, like, he gets down to business, and he like, he gets started, and I'm like, oh,
whenever he starts explaining the plan, I'm like, oh, that's the point, like, that's whenever I was like, that's why we're doing all of this. That makes sense. And not in a negative way. I was going to be fine if there was never a fucking purpose, but like, that was when I was like, that's what it's building to. That's the climax of not the climax of the movie, but the purpose of the power. Like, that's why we were displaying this.
And then I'm like, at that point, then I really started to like spin. I wasn't like ever like, I was always trying to like, I did have that background of like, how is this movie going to end? But then at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to heal her, but then that's going to kill him. Like it's going to be too much, and then he's going to die. And then it's going to be like, oh no, we traded one life for the other. Like, is that worth it? So I'm like, are they going that route? Are they going, and then I kind of, that's when my brain really started to like kind of go. And yeah, it was like,
and to go back to the fact that I had no idea that there was any mystical aspect of this movie, spending the first like hour going, it's a really funny character quirk that Paul has a bladder infection. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this guy just has a bladder infection, and that's part of his character. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what he's doing. That's just part of his deal. And then it being like, no, it's, he's going to get it healed. That's the part where I'm like, oh, okay, I see. But yeah, like whenever they introduce him and he's having a tough time pissing, and he's like pissing razor blades, I'm like, that's a hilarious thing to just have as part of your character. And at that point, oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, the pure justification for it is when he's an old man and he's transferring into the story, he just says, it was the year I had the worst bladder infection of my life. So I thought it was just a way to identify that these are the same people. And then, whenever he takes, like, that piss, and he's like, it's like the first relieving piss. It's like, I guess the easiest way to show that someone has healed. Because, like, if he had, like, a lung infection or something that, like, how would you show that he was healed right
he's
afterwards?
Just not coughing anymore.
But but this way you can literally, like, just have a relieving piss. And then it's like, oh, my God, it's a miracle. Like, it turns an everyday act of just peeing. And it's weird that, like, literally this week, I had to piss so bad. I was in work, and I was like, I don't know, I was just running these hats on this embroidery machine. It was just like going over and over, and I just like kind of forgot that I can go pee whenever I want. And I thought, like, I don't know why, I was just like, I have to get these done, and so like I just kept going. But I had to pee so bad, and it was the first time that like I was peeing that then it felt so good to relieve it that I'm like, wait. I'm like, does it actually kind of feel good to pee every time? But I just don't ever relax enough, or like, you know, is like, why does this piss feel good, or like, you know, and then like it was a weird, like the first time I let out like that sigh, or like that like like of a, you know, of a piss, and I'm like, man, what I could,
Piss so good
it was
shake
just
your legs a little bit.
yeah, and just a weird thought of like I don't know, like peeing is just such a, it's so routine, or just like it's just every day. So, but then like one pee that you just have to take so bad can just
we
be
don't
so,
appreciate a good piss enough.
yeah yeah, and I don't know, a weird side thing that I guess only guys will get. This was the day they like freshly changed the urinal pads too, so it was like fresh new smell, and it was like it was just an overall great piss, which is
great
a
piss.
weird. But yeah, like this, I mean, but his piss, you know, Paul's piss, gotta be much
all
better.
time.
I mean,
That's
that's how can
life-changing
you
piss
have
right there.
yeah, like I don't think it gets better than that one. But
You've got, he had a piss graced by God in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
might have
had
came.
the kind of,
That might have been
he
straight
got the ki-
cum, actually. I don't know. I'm like, I don't-
he got a piss so good that he was like, there's a heaven and there's an angel in my cell block. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's,
yeah. Wow. I mean, that is, yeah. I mean, I thought I had a good piss, you know, this week, but yeah, no, this is much different.
this is another world here.
Awakening, enlightenment,
and that's
piss.
a top 2 piss in this movie. The other one being whenever Wild Bill pisses on Harry's legs. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very
and
funny.
the mud pie. I got, you know, even Paul said it. He's like, gotta give
it
you
to
know,
him. That's original.
pretty
Yeah.
original. And it's like, and Brute was like, oh, he's, you know, he's still pissed, but then he's like, yeah, no, and like, I guess, you know, but yeah, it's like, so it was like, as much as I bawled my eyes out, like it is weird to say that it was like, actually, it was enjoyable. Like just their chemistry was so, it just felt
It's
so
human.
genuine, and yeah, it was very, and then just having this, whenever it clicked at that dinner party, you know, and then it was like, oh, okay, like and then the movie just, it was feeling good, but it just didn't, I just didn't have this feeling of like completeness yet, because I just thought like, okay, well, this has been good so far, like I haven't, you know, had much to complain about, but then that moment I'm like, ooh, and then I was like, I was in, and then it was just kind of locked in from there, but yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's crazy that maybe it is just purely the happy ending, but man, I got to give Shawshank another watch, but yeah, this is just kind of,
Yeah, no, I do need to watch
easily over.
Shawshank again. I haven't watched Shawshank probably since we covered it.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
back on
that's-
Geek With Me fucking almost 4 years ago.
Damn. I mean,
We've been at this shit for
the
a
ending
minute.
is pretty sweet. Like it is a cool movie. I don't, you know, maybe I'm not giving it its like fair rep right here, but I don't know. This is
Shawshank.
seems-
So I have a really, really weird, complicated relationship with Shawshank, where like I can recognize that it is a good movie and I enjoy it and it made me very emotional. Also, it's probably the most overrated movie ever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's what everyone just points to as like, that, yeah, I don't, or that it's just a good movie, and I
no,
think
yeah,
it's, just an easy,
and that's why I'm like, I don't want to sound like a hater. It's a good fucking movie, and I like it a lot. But there are, like you said, it's the #1 movie on IMDb ever. That's insane to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a solid movie, and more than solid. It's a great movie. The best movie ever? No. No.
3.2 million people have rated that movie, and the only other movie that has that many is The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight is number 3, by the way. It goes Shawshank,
also
The
pretty
Godfather,
overrated.
Dark Knight.
And that's the thing, is that like whenever this is the problem with assigning numbers to movies, which we will do here soon.
Yes.
It's that there's no like, it's so subjective that being like The Dark Knight is the 3rd greatest movie ever. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just isn't. That's, and I don't know what is, but I know it's not The Dark Knight. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, that's, and I don't know how else to put it. I fucking love the movie. I love Shawshank. I love The Green Mile. It's probably not the top 25 movie ever made either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, That's why I stopped rating things on Letterboxd unless it was a 5, because they start splitting hairs, and like I legitimately got questions on some reviews where it was like, why would you give this 3.5 and this 4? It's like, I don't know, because I fucking felt like it.
Yeah, damn. Maybe we should just take the Coogler mindset and just this. It's not worth it. Why?
It's not worth
why
it.
Why rank us against each other? It's all just
come back in May for our top 100 favorite actors and actresses of all time.
We will literally put people against each other
people,
in an ascending list completely, and put no, it's I think it's still valuable to make those lists. It's just everyone's list is different, and that's the
it's going to be different.
Yeah, and I guess technically the most, if you combine everyone's list, then yeah, it says Shawshank and Godfather and The Dark Knight are the best 3 movies of all time. But that's I think just they are the most seen good movies.
Yeah,
of all time.
they're the most popular
And
good movies
yes.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but a movie, Interstellar, it's 18 on the list. It is my favorite movie of all time. Do I actually believe it's the 18th best movie of all time? No. Like there are so many better made movies than it, but it's like for me it is my easy number 1, and it's like it's hard to I can't push that for anyone else,
Yeah.
It is for me.
No, that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it, and that's why, like, whenever it comes to when we do these ratings at the end of episodes, it's more for us than it is for anybody else. We're never telling anybody how you should feel about the movie. We're just telling you how we feel about the movie, and that's an important distinction. But when it comes to The Green Mile, I don't really have much else to say about it. I really, really enjoy it. Michael Clark Duncan is a fucking treasure. And he passed about 14 years ago, thereabouts. I think it was 2012.
Damn.
Yeah, real sad loss there. He was a really talented guy. He was a really great actor. He does a great emotional beat here. I know he was fucking hilarious because I've seen Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Dang. But yeah, this is a all-time role. Or an all-time,
one of the best Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and now that the Artemis mission is officially over and they've splashed down, I can watch Apollo 13 now. I still have never seen it, but I didn't want to watch it during that. I know that breaks time a little bit here. That Apollo wrapped up last month, or Artemis wrapped up last month, but
last week.
I guess here. Is this? Oh no! I guess
this comes out
is
next
actually
Friday.
Releasing.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I think why did I think we were a month ahead?
No, we don't have a huge gap right now.
We're
We're pretty right up against it. Our last episode actually released yesterday, and we're between At Eternity's Gate and Green Mile release wise.
So, actually no, not too bad. But yeah, no, I think that was maybe my next. I'm like, just maybe I'm on a weird Tom Hanks kick right now, or just at least just for this. But I was definitely waiting for the Artemis astronauts to splash back down before I watch a movie in which a mission goes wrong and not to plan. So yeah, I didn't want to do that, but yeah, I don't know. Tom Hanks. I mean, as far I love Forrest Gump, but no, this is better. Thinking I love Polar Express.
Best Tom Hanks ever. Asteroid City.
Ooh, yes.
Boom.
Okay. I always forget. This movie I watched, I just just went through it like crazy, and then it was just a time for Asteroid City, but yeah, that was okay. So that's up there, I guess. Yeah, I shouldn't pause to or just say it's all time, but no, I don't know. This is a lot more time with him, I feel like, in here.
Oh yeah,
this one, but yeah, no, it's
And I will say, you spoke to the level of the degree to which the piss was relieving. That is entirely reliant on Tom Hanks's performance of the piss. I have to imagine that Tom Hanks isn't actually pissing in that moment, and you are fully convinced that he is, given the expression. And he immediately comes home and is like, "We've got to fuck all night long, darling."
Yep. We haven't done 4 times since we were 19, and I was like, and then telling
he goes, "That's not true."
Yeah, at dinner, like, well, what was he healed or what did it work? She's like, yeah. She's like,
Oh yeah, it did. He's
yeah,
like
it did.
whole other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Tom Hanks, maybe he just really held one in. He on purpose, He was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold it in, or yeah.
Went
maybe
Willem Dafoe and Wild at Heart with that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's wow, weird piss. Yeah, we got last week we did have Willem Dafoe as Van Gogh, and a piss connection.
We did.
Chain reaction with pisses and move. New chain reaction.
Oh,
not
Willem
just actor
Dafoe
links.
and Oscar Isaac piss side by side as Van Gogh and Paul Gauguin
Oh my
in that
God,
movie.
they do. What
yeah,
the
they do.
shit? Is there
So,
a piss in
unlike
Children
now-
of Men? Let's see. I don't.
Somebody almost certainly pisses themselves at some point, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now it's what a weird.
Something to keep our eye on from now
Yeah.
on. Movie pisses, all-time movie pisses. We gotta note these things.
Wow. Okay. The piss. I had no way that there was going to be a piss chain link between the two movies we had, but damn, that's incredible. A true god tier piss.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look it up. Is there an on-screen urination in Children of Men?
And I'll look for Hot Fuzz. There. Screen.
Yes,
piss?
there is.
No way.
Yeah, Nick Frost. He pisses on the fountain. When he's drunk, when he's piss drunk, they arrest a guy who's doing a public urination.
Oh my God! Wow, this is just too good. Is there a piss in Hot Fuzz? No way. There are two pisses in Hot Fuzz. The character George Merchant is depicted urinating in a public house. I guess. I don't know George Merchant. I don't remember that. A subsequent scene involving the same character shows the aftermath of the previous action in a bathroom setting. Is there a fight like just in a public bathroom maybe or something like that, and just a guy in the background pissing? I guess maybe is what that one was in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, well, it was the rich guy who gets blown up in his house.
Okay, so he
Before he gets blown up in his house. Yeah, he's pissing all over his toilet.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I can't find anything about Children of Men. So that might have broke the chain link there. But 4 out of the last 5 is not a bad percentage for on-screen pisses. It's kind of so we're on piss watch from now on. Anytime somebody pisses in a movie we're covering, it's unfortunately going to be brought up.
Yep, it's a weird,
which is kind of incredible.
It's you don't know until you know, and I never would have thought I'd be tracking pisses in movies, but The Green Mile, it's such a god tier piss that look, it's
you had no choice but to notice it. Yeah. And I mean, it's far from the only piss in the movie. It's actually one of the other ones that's great is whenever he tries to make it to the outhouse and he drops to his knees and he can't make it. That's a great one. Not for him, but it's a great on-screen depiction of pissing.
It feels like he truly had a bladder infection. He played that
Good stuff,
pretty
Tom.
damn well. Yeah, like I don't know how they went about the piss, in the first one when he's in prison, and he's just letting out like little bits at a time, or whatever. If he just has like a water bottle or something that they're like, or doing whatever. But wow, yeah, piss watch from here on out. What Scooby-Doo?
Piss watch 2026.
I haven't seen it, but is there
2020 piss?
Do you remember a Scooby-Doo 2 piss?
Off the top of my head, no, I don't recall. But
Maybe I'll leave it a
Scooby-Doo
surprise.
is a male dog. He's always
Scooby's got to piss on something for sure.
Yeah,
dude.
he's got to hike the leg at some point. You think? I don't recall specifically, but yeah, 420. We're back on 420 with Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed. Really, really kind of a sibling film to The Green Mile.
Yeah. I mean,
they feel like kindred spirits. Kindred spirits. They definitely pair well. Maybe a good double feature for some of you one day. But yeah, 420. We're back with Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed, and then we'll be back next Friday with Silence, the Marty Scorsese feature with Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, and Liam Neeson. We are also doing Geek With Me at the moment, where we are covering Maul, Shadow Lord, and kind of anything else in between that we want. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's the size of it right now. Let's rate this movie and let's get out of here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about The Green Mile?
Children of Men is really doing weird things to me. Because if I haven't watched that movie, I think this is the easiest. This is a 10. But I did say that, like, Children of Men, it does make me cry as much, but it does have much more to say. There's so much more kind of I don't know, like that movie was just, it felt so much grander, in a true 10. But I know, like, at Eternity's Gate, I was kind of like, that might have been a 10. I don't think truly, this is like as close as it can get. I think I can't go 10. I don't know why I do have hesitation, but I can easily go 9.75 with no doubt. So it's a 5 on the Letterboxd. That's for sure. But here,
and that's the thing is I'm trying not to get hung up on the Children of Men 10, because we'd given stuff 10s before that in comparison to Children of Men probably wouldn't hold up the same.
This is true.
But even so, I agree that there is a hesitation for me. And it is in that vein where even though I don't resent it for what I feel is emotional manipulation and kind of guiding you in a way that's like, you are going to cry, you are going to cry, you are going to cry, I'm going to make you sad. I don't resent that. It's fine. I like that even, especially with this movie when it's done as well as it is. But I do feel like I have to deduct points for that kind of being a little bit of a hack. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you're going to get an emotional reaction out of me because you do things a certain way. And I want to credit it more for that than I want to discredit it. That's why I'm still going to give it a 9.75. But that is what holds it back from being a 10, is that I'm like, I feel like you're focused on making me feel something without telling a story that is just going to make me feel something. You're like, let's see if we can, I don't know, mine your emotions for that reaction that I'm looking for.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like, it might sound negative or it's the only kind of negative you can think of the movie, but it is still as close to a 10 as you can give something. So it's like, I do always have this weird, like, I feel like I have to negatively justify why I'm dropping down, like, more to, like, counteract, but it is still like I'm giving this base, a 99.
As close to a perfect close to a perfect score as we get. Yeah, like it's an incredible movie, dude. I really, really loved it. But yeah, I do agree that there's something that's not just the comparison to Children of Men that's holding it back from being that 10.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, this has been a phenomenal year. Like,
we're on a run right now. I sent you a screenshot of my Letterboxd tag with the Sentimentalists. The last 8 movies we've covered, I have as 5 stars on Letterboxd. And I even went back further. I think 13 of the last 15 I've given 5 stars on Letterboxd. Which is, I mean, just incredible. That cornbread, by the way, I just got there. That looks incredible. I need the cornbread. I want the cornbread. Give me the cornbread.
And the smell that it filled the room. They all knew it. Fuck. Wild Bill, not. It was good luck, Wild Bill, getting some fucking corn. Or was he even in there?
It's yours now. Well, and he's like, he just gives it to Dell and Mr. Jingles. It's so sweet. God, he's a gentle giant. I fucking love John Coffey. Like to drink, but not spelt the same. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, so The Green Mile, loved it. And I thought this was going to be a one and done for me. This is weirdly enough a movie I feel like I will certainly watch again.
I want the emotional manipulation. I know I'm going to want it again. Like, no, give it to me again. I'm going to need it. Maybe not like immediate. I think it'll be nice to.
No, it'll be a little bit. But like, this is one that one day, whenever somebody tells me, I've never seen The Green Mile, I'll go, we're watching The Green Mile.
Let's try together. Yep, let's do it. Like, oh man. Yeah, it's two. I mean,
it's one that I need to. I want to find it on used DVD. Like, get me a $5.99 copy of The Green Mile.
Yeah.
That's like, it's one of those like folding DVD cases. It has the little thing that like clicks on the side, you know, like that. I
Yes.
feel like that's, I'm
My
going to
Scooby-Doo
find that
case did.
somewhere one day. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
mhm.
It had the green,
So-
it had the
Yup.
green clasp there.
Yup,
Yeah.
yup.
Yeah. I know
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what that is.
Oh yeah. Yes. So yeah, we need the Green Mile. It's all fucking coming back. It all links together somehow. Yes.
Pretty sure I actually have your Scooby-Doo DVD now. I think you gave it to me at some point, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I think I'm looking at it right now.
Oh
but,
my god, that's so funny. I don't know if the disc actually worked. I think it is a kind of
No,
disc
it's
where we watched
destroyed.
it to be
Yeah,
on
it's-
hell,
it's
but
destroyed.
it might run some.
it was a gesture. Yeah, it was like, I love this movie and therefore I pass it on to you. Yeah, no, I love having Scooby-Doo, but no, I'm never going to be
Yeah.
able to watch that disc. But yeah, man, I loved The Green Mile. I'm glad we did this. It was the one this month that I was like, okay. You know, I was like, I guess we ought to cross it off, but I'm so glad we did. You
Yeah.
know, it was the one I was definitely looking forward to the least, and is probably the second one that I'm very, very, very happy we did. But
yeah.
I look forward to these next week with Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, and Silence. You know, again, a quintessential triple feature, The Green Mile, Scooby-Doo 2, and Silence. Those all go together like peanut butter, jelly, and ham. Yep. With that, we will top off this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fuck ice.